welcome to our May edition of our Facebook Live session. We wanted to get together to have some conversations with those of you at home with our leadership team, or a big portion of our leadership team, specifically our principals. So I'm really excited to be joined by our four principals today. And we're just going to have a conversation about how this year went, how things are going, what we have to look forward to over the summer, and maybe a few teasers for next school year, because I know we have a lot that is already in the cooker for our upcoming school year. But before we start with that, I'm Jason DeFalco, superintendent, and I'm going to ask my esteemed colleagues to introduce themselves to you. We'll start over here.
Jill Fowlis, I'm the principal at the high school.
Tanya Carhord, the principal at the middle school.
Christina Schaefer, principal at Millville Elementary.
Jenny Remke, principal at JFK and AFM Complex.
Great. And as all of you at home can tell, I surround myself with brilliant, highly intelligent women, which is very smart of me. So with that, I would love to have a conversation about this school year, because this one has been a year like none other. It has been a challenging year. And your first year,
Yes.
frankly, which is a really big accomplishment, stepping into this role in a year like we had. And we're almost at the end. You're still smiling and laughing.
am.
I hope you're coming back.
Yes, I'm not. I absolutely. Otherwise, there would be lots of people who would not be happy with me.
That's right, including those around the table.
Yeah, there you go.
But from your perspective, Jill, your first year, you're learning the job. First year as principal, though you were assistant before this, but new district, kind of knew everything.
Everything.
Yeah, talk a little bit about that. What were some of the biggest accomplishments, some of the things you're most proud of? And
First year in the
first year.
508. I'm happy I survived. That's probably, especially with it being May. Actually, I had a conversation with a teacher today, and she said, "Is it as hard as it looks?" And I said, I learned two things. I have never worked as hard in my life, and I've never loved my job as much. So anytime and it's funny, I'm sitting behind the computer doing all the things, and then the kids come in and they just suck you right back in. So I think besides surviving as my number one accomplishment this year, I'm really happy that we have a stronger sense of community and the culture of advisory. Every other week, some really strong feedback on our advisory program, which will only help us in our planning with the kiddos. The advisory program had gone away for a couple of years, and so is now is back, and with a number of new teachers breathing new life into it, it's been really a positive piece in allowing me to have 11 seniors that I've gotten to know really well. And
so you have an advisor.
I have an advisory. Everyone
That's
has
awesome.
an advisory. Yep.
That's great.
Mr. Duchamp has an advisory. The counselors have advisories.
So you have your own 11 students.
I have my
that
own
you're
11 students
accountable for.
that will turn that tassel shortly, and I'll feel like a proud mama just for those guys. So that's what I'm
great.
looking forward to the most.
That's great. That's quite an accomplishment. And I will say, having spent a lot of time at the high school over the past 4 years, the change in the climate and culture and the cohesiveness in that building is palpable. You can feel it. You walk in, you can feel it, you can sense it, you see it in the classrooms. Thinking of a learning walk we did recently, visiting classrooms. It was a Thursday morning. We went into a few history classes. 7:45, 8 o'clock in the morning.
Working.
On point. Kids were on point. Teachers were on point. The engagement was awesome. And it was almost stunning to see, U.S. history at 7:45 on a Thursday morning, and the kids were all over it. It was awesome. You could just feel the Charger pride in the high schools.
Every day, and I'm really excited to continue this. And yes, I will be back for year 2.
So I want to kind of shift the question to our elementary principals, because we have a new structure this year, right? And so while we kind of tried that out during the pandemic, sort of with kindergarten, and we kind of had kids all over the place, actually, including at home. We had students everywhere. This year was our first real year of our new model. And so with that new kind of lower elementary or kind of early learning center, Christina, that you're kind of constructing at MES, and the kind of upper elementary, Jenny, at the complex. What are you most proud of in terms of that whole transition and the work you've done this year?
I think for the teachers that were at Millville or came from Millville. I think that the culture shock of having more than one teacher in your grade is a little bit was a little bit hard at the beginning, but they made a nice adjustment. The teams are really solid together. And I'm proud of the adjustment they've made with looking at student data and adjusting, for example, our win block, which is what I need. The staff have looked at students' assessments and then made some groups. And our kindergarten team, I laugh because they were so nervous about them transitioning from to across the hall. Those kids are like rocking it, and they picked it up within the first week, and they are transitioning to rooms. And most recently, they performed a play. One of the groups performed a Reader's Theater, and they actually took it on the road.
That's
or in the
awesome.
school. So they took it in the
Down the
school to
hall.
different classes and performed their Reader's Theater for everybody. So just to see how they've taken everything and just grown with it. So.
And are you finding in that kind of the fewer grades, and are you finding you can get more focused on?
I think it's a lot easier to learn the curriculum better versus pre-K through 5. Now it's pre-K through 1 this year, pre-K through 2 next year.
Right. So that makes
Definitely
sense.
easier.
And I like that you mentioned the fact about it was probably a hard transition for some of the teachers and maybe the kids at first, because if you're used to one first grade class or one kindergarten, and now you have 5, that's a big difference in students and teachers.
And even for any of the students that were at Millville, having, just that small number, now you've got a whole bunch where you were with the same kids every year. Now you don't have a choice. You can be with different kids. So.
Yeah, that's great. What do you think on your end of that continuum, Jenny?
So like Carrie Purcell say, I'm old. So I've been doing this for a long time. And I think one of the biggest goals as an educator is you want kids to take ownership of their learning. And it's so hard to do. Because kids want you to just tell them, what do you want me to do? So we're really working hard because we have older students. So we have those conversations with kids. You know what? You need to set your own goals. So we did that after the mid-year, data, and students set goals with their teachers. And I am bombarded with emails from kids. Hey, Ms. Ramko, do you have time tomorrow? I want to show you my goals. I reached my goal.
That's awesome.
And I'm like, as a matter of fact, I have a student share an essay that he wrote. He said, hey, can you share with your boss? I said, who's my boss? That guy come and visit and he sit up in the, up there. I say, where? And he said, I'll show you. And he's like, up there. Can you show it to him? So I got to show you his essay.
Oh, that's awesome.
Beautiful. I think we are at that point that kids know what they need to improve upon. But now the next step is how you're going to improve. You set goals. This is what you want. You reach your goal. Your teachers help you to set that, the progress, how you take steps to make the progress. But now we want them to come up with their own ways. So that was one of the things that everyone's very proud of.
The ownership piece, that's huge. And that's when in your improvement work, you're really starting to turn a corner, is when the students are, frankly, staying a step ahead of us. And because they're owning their data, they're owning their performance, and they're really working at it. So middle school, you can't be lukewarm about middle school. This hurt. I having spent 10 years as a middle school principal or close to that, you either love it or you can't do it. And that's where your entire career has been.
23 years.
Right, at the middle school level. So share with us some of the highlights from this year from the middle school.
Actually, I was going to say something else before I did. I want to piggyback on what Jenny had said about, student making goals. That's just great to know, right? Because we had an opportunity this year to purchase Naviance for the middle school. And we're doing that, but within the Naviance system, the students are crafting goals, SMART goals, actually learning how to write them as a SMART goal. And then they'll just be there. So when they go to high school, they'll be able to look at the goals that they've had over the years. And all the teachers can check in with them. The counselors can use it. We can have various goals. It can be, an academic goal, a social emotional goal. So that was pretty exciting. And right now, all the 8th graders are doing civics projects, and I'm being bombarded apparently they want to know they can do and what I can do to get sidewalks on Federal Street. You know, I'm like that's not me.
Hey, but listen, so I run around here all the time. I will join that fight. I've had a few close calls myself running down Federal Street.
I'm like, I know I make all the decisions for our building, but I don't make the decisions for the sidewalks on the road. Here would be the people you would want to reach out to.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just been interesting to have different conversations. And even with our NJHS this year, Miss Walcott, it was her first year as advisor, and we were really excited to let the inductees know yesterday who is going to be inducted. Awesome. But she also had them doing a lot of community service projects, and so that has been fun. But we still have something else coming up, which is 2 teachers have worked really hard on all of our career exploration work and classes and the curriculum. We have a career fair coming up. So we have, some's going to be in person, some's going to be virtual, and we have various people from around the state, and I was able to all I had to actually do was ask. I didn't have to just ask. I didn't have to offer any funds or money or anything to even get some. There's a company down in Houston that helps with human resources and filling positions in the healthcare field. And so they jumped right on it. It's one of
that's cool.
It's one of the biggest up and coming small companies right now in Houston. So
and they'll be at our career fair?
Yeah, they won't be in person. Yeah. Unfortunately, sometimes they are in the area, but that day they're not in the area, so it'll be virtual. But we really have quite a wide variety of people coming for that.
But how cool is that? Because that's how things are kind of now. You can either be in person, you can be remote, and the work still happens. And so that's actually kind of a good real world piece to that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
So that's pretty exciting.
Yeah, and it's interesting because I got an invite to be at yours, to speak at yours about, like, I guess my career.
Yeah.
But my own kids will not allow me to go to that. So I've been asked by not them, and and told I'm not allowed.
Absolutely.
Right? But yeah.
It's not more, and it's a little bit about your career, but really more about what was that pathway that you took to get there, and the learning that you did on the way.
That's really cool. I'm glad our kids are going to be exposed to that. And the Naviance piece, you guys use we use at the high school, so there's a nice through line.
One of the things, just to dangle the future, that we're going to be really working on is the counseling curriculum, guidance curriculum to counseling curriculum. Because the middle school has done so much work, it's only appropriate that we continue that. So using Naviance and having some intentional career and college programming at the 9th, 10th, 11th, and ultimately our seniors, but and we even have a grant to take us to pay for the bus so that the students can see a 2-year, a 4-year public, and a 4-year private. And if we can get to one of the technical schools, we'll do that. Yes. We're going to be greedy, try to get that, but to do that because they have been doing such an amazing job at the middle school.
Well, and it's about exposure, and part of what our job is, when we say all means all, we need to expose all opportunities and give students all opportunities, whether it's a technical, as you mentioned, kind of a post-high school technical school, whether it's a traditional university, right? I mean, there's all these different pathways that students can go, and I know that you are starting a lot of that work at the middle school level, so it's really great that piece is in place.
We have a number of graduates who are doing apprenticeships. When I think as a historian, I think of apprenticeships as kind of an 1800 thing, but we've got a number of them who are going to have great careers ahead of them with a different pathway. So I'm excited.
All from our little BM. Yeah, that's great. So let's talk a little bit more about kind of the end of the year stuff, because Tanya, you mentioned a little bit about some of the stuff that you're doing in terms of the end of the year activities and things. So we think about all of the pieces that you just shared and all of the great work and our successes. How are we celebrating this? Because that, I will tell you, is something some of us on the team don't do very well. We just kind of keep moving. But how are we stopping to celebrate the work of our students, staff, and our families and community? Because it truly has been a huge team effort, particularly the past couple of years. So what are we doing to celebrate the end of the year?
So Christina and I have the same day celebration.
Yep.
You're going to have 2 kindergarten celebration, right?
Yep, 9:30 and 1:30.
and mine is 11 o'clock.
Smack
same
dab in the
day.
middle.
So the parents can just go back and forth.
We have to coordinate all the time. I think the celebration kind of started already. As soon as the restriction lifted, we right away work. Fifth grade, they never had anything. We haven't gone on field trip for 2 years. So we were lucky, PTO supported us, and we went on a field trip on May 12th to the Gillette Stadium for the Weather Education Day. They were so awesome. They were so well behaved. I had to reward them after. Ice cream, and I tell you that I bought 5 cases of ice cream. I have to take all my food out of the freezer to put all the ice cream in there, and then I had to cook up the storm after that because I have all the in the refrigerator. So and then we had Museum of Science presentation. They zoom in, so every grade level will have something.
And the fourth graders went to the
That's right.
Blackstone
Yep.
Historical.
That's not from you. You gave me the
Yeah,
idea,
Blackstone
sending them out.
Historical
They had a great time. I really didn't think they would,
Yeah.
because it's history, right? Because the fourth grade is like, they came back. When are we going to do it again?
History
They
is
loved it.
exciting.
So big plan. So
History teacher, not a math teacher.
we've all been.
Math is boring.
We've all been to the Blackstone Historical Museum, but anyone tuning in that hasn't should totally
Yeah.
check it out. It is very cool. I mean, we
Yep.
had our whole leadership team over there, and the whole fourth grade went.
But last thing I want to share is in June, we are having a staff versus student dodgeball game.
Oh.
I will be wearing probably 3 or 4 pants, making sure I don't get players and shirts and jacket. I got to protect myself.
And the kids will paint the bullseye. Right on you.
So I know Jenny had mentioned that we have the celebration on the 16th. We have kindergarten screenings either right before or right after, depending
that ball
on.
rolling. Yeah, get ready. Get
And
those
get them
babies in
going
here.
through they're actually the 16th, 17th, and 21st for kindergarten screenings. And then we also, so we're doing a lot with our PBIS to get our students ready, because last year was a very non-traditional year with a lot of our K kids were, not a lot, 20 of our K kids were remote. So, kind of getting them back into the school for some of them, and teaching them how to be a student, how to be able to sit at a desk, or how to be able to sit at a table working with a group of students, or on the floor. So we've been focusing a lot on our PBIS expectations. So actually in April, we had a dance party for the last 5 minutes of the day. It was absolutely hysterical because the students met their goal of 350 horseshoes they had to get. Shamrocks they had to get on their wall, on the windows. April, we had a little work, the April to May one, we have a little work. We didn't quite meet that one, but we talked about the things that were well and what went well and what we had to improve on. And June, we're going to combine the two. So they have to do hallway expectations along with classroom expectations, and then they'll earn extra recess when they meet that goal. So they were super excited. They were silent and would walk by the office and they would make point so we could see them to give them a shamrock. So they were great. So that's something that we're doing to celebrate the kids. And then our June staff meeting, we're going to do some celebrations, looking just at the year and things that we have changed, and things that have gone well, and things that, with being 3 feet apart to now we're actually able to kind of be back together, and it's just been a different year. So, so we're
Talking about PBIS, your kids dare me to skateboard down the hallway because they found out I like skateboarding. So I'm going to skateboard down the hallway, and then I'm going to raffle off my skateboard.
We gotta record that. I want to be there. I want to be there.
I want to know how you learned that you liked skateboarding. I'm more interested in what triggered you to get on a skateboard.
It's Remke's at the skate park. At the skate
The
park.
boys didn't want to play with me, and I was the only girl on the soccer team, so I skateboard all day long after school. Around the house.
Yeah, that's great.
So,
I think it's great.
I order a new one. So I'm skateboard down the hallway, and I'm going to raffle that off.
I know what your Christmas gift
You
is
need a
gonna be.
helmet or?
All the kids ask me that.
Oh, yes. Always safety.
You don't
first.
want this.
Was that a skateboarding accident?
She's practicing. I'm not practicing. Don't know how to skateboard. Don't know. Everyone's David's gone. It's the end of the day, and
I'm
there's
gonna see
Remka
which
going
one
down the hall.
That will be an interesting thing to
I'll
see.
invite you.
I want to be there too.
So how about at the secondary level? Because both of you have huge things happening right now in your school between trips and step-up celebrations and graduations. And I think the seniors, I have never seen in any district anything like what happens here for seniors.
so
It's
much
like the world stops. We are all focused on our seniors. And I love it, by the way.
Yes.
I've just never seen anything like, and it's getting better. And it's
Something new.
Yeah, we're improving.
Well, you go first.
I was just going to say, we've already kicked it off because with the NJHS students doing the community service, one of them said, how about a faculty versus student basketball game? And so
yes,
we
yeah.
actually did that at the end of the second day of the math MCAS
right.
to celebrate ending of MCAS
That's a
as
good
well for
celebration.
most of the students. But it was really exciting because it was the first time
Who won?
that the students, they got, the staff was slaughtered.
And how many dunks did you have? Did you have any?
I didn't even play because anytime I ever see these small, I have very small fingers. I would in high school, I'd always play basketball, sports,
Yeah.
gym, I loved it, but I would always sprain something when I was playing basketball. So I did not sign up to be
play.
part of the team.
You're a bleacher creature.
My height doesn't help with basketball either. So,
That's all.
but it was the first time that we had the whole school in the gym.
That's cool.
That's great.
In a very long time. So we have that. We have field day for the 8th graders. The 7th graders are having a field day put on for them as well. We have the induction ceremony.
Yeah, I
We
can't
actually
wait.
have for the NJHS, Miss Walcott, presented to me, hey, what about a banquet
Mm-hmm.
for the members who are leaving us? So we're going to be having a banquet for them as well. And next week we're going to be hosting our 5th graders here for Step Up Day.
That's awesome.
The graduating seniors will walk through
Oh, that's
Jenny's
right.
school. Her 5th graders will leave, come here. They might follow behind the graduates here. It happens to be the same day, but we're excited to have them.
That's great. That's great.
And DC.
Yes,
Yeah,
we
you got
have.
your trip
Yes,
coming up?
yep. Not this Monday, next Monday.
This time of year, I feel like you just can't keep up with it. Like you cannot keep up. The days start moving
I'm
so
really
quickly.
hoping not to have last weekend's heat in DC.
Oh,
That will
yeah,
not be
yeah.
pleasant.
A lot of walking and yeah.
Are you going?
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I'm making sure to stay healthy.
That's true.
So how about some of the highlights at the high school? A couple, one or two
Something
things
something
going
called
on.
graduation. I don't know. So we've had a very successful prom. And it was lovely to see the students there all dressed up to the nines. We had almost 200 students
Awesome.
who attended, so it was a lot of fun to see them. And I just love prom. I think it was like the 22nd prom that I've attended. It's ridiculous.
I went to one, that was
Mr.
enough.
Mr. Ducharme has me beat, but that's okay. And we had our senior banquet last Friday at Arrowhead Acres, which was a lovely venue. Kids just had so much fun. They're signing their yearbooks. Today was the last official school day.
Crazy.
So we had it was mixed emotions.
Right.
It was
Yeah,
nice,
right.
you
Our
know.
senior interns, I have to say, our senior interns, one of them was in tears. They
Yeah.
got
I
balloons,
bet,
they got
yeah.
flowers, and then we made announcements for them several
have
times today. So
loved
they got
that
lunch,
so
we bought
much.
them lunch, so.
Oh yeah,
so nice.
they've loved that. And so tomorrow is our day of service at the Blackstone Boys and Girls Club. Friday is a day from start to finish. We start with a parade in the morning, and a tradition that I'm bringing with me from Munson is something called Senior Signing Day. And Senior Signing Day is basically recognizing the hard work and effort that every single student has put
means
into
all.
this. Yes,
Yep.
doesn't matter if you're if you're taking a gap year, if you're going work, our apprenticeships that we
Yeah,
have,
you get
and our
celebrated.
colleges. And so I'm very excited. And there is every one of our seniors has a faculty sponsor, so who will be there. So we've got a little slideshow. We'll have a nice thing at the end of it. There'll be some other surprises. So stay tuned. And then the senior trip, we'll be heading to Newport, and I get to go to that. So that'll be fun.
That's my neck of the woods.
Yes.
Yeah, you'll be in my neighborhood, in my
Yes,
backyard.
8 o'clock.
Yeah.
You can come meet me for
I wish
meet
I
for
would,
lunch.
I would be there if I could. I'll be here. You guys will be in my house.
Right. Award will be awards, and then graduation. We'll have we're not going to forget everybody else. The Junior Book Awards will be the week of the 13th, so pay attention to my newsletter. And we are planning some sort of a field day celebration at the end. We had the misfortune of having a heater malfunction. So when y'all are done on the 22nd, you just beep and wave to our children who are like, could we just do 2 half days? Because 2 + 2 equals, yeah. No. And so the 23rd, everyone, the 23rd is a Thursday. And, but we're looking forward to it.
And that'll be the high school's last day.
Yes, it'll be the high
22nd
high
for
school
us.
night. 22nd for all of you.
High school 23rd.
Yes.
That's right. So that's a perfect segue into summer. What are just 1 or 2 kind of quick highlights that we could look forward to for summer programming? And for our families that are tuning in, how can they get in on that? How can they make sure that if there's something going on that they want their student part of, they can get their child plugged into it?
So Millville, we have 2 sessions. I actually wrote the dates down. July 19th through 21st, and then the 26th through the 28th is the first session, and then the 9th through 11th and 16th through 18th. We actually have targeted skill groups. So we will be using the end of year data, identifying students, and then contacting the families that kind of meet that criteria, and reaching out to see if they're interested in joining our session. So we'll have some small group targeted intervention, tutoring, games, a little of everything to kind of keep the learning fun and help that learning grow over the summer. So we have, that'll be for K going into 1 and 1 going into 2.
Great.
So
You have something very different,
Yes.
right?
Oh, and one other thing
different,
is we'll have reading.
that's right.
The reading going on between, so we have asked.
For summer reading?
For summer reading.
Yep.
So we're gonna have some little surprise readers. And we're gonna share those
whole
out.
district,
Yes, so we're gonna share those out, and the kids will be able to, some may be live, so students can get a link, and some will be many will probably be recorded, and we'll share those out, so.
So my program's a little bit different. As you know, we got the 21st Century Grant for this year. So our program is 6-week, actually 2 3-week sessions. It's 4 days a week from 8 in the morning to 12:30. And I just actually share out the application, again, online application last week. So if you check last week, newsletter is in there, but I will share out again. I know we had a deadline last week, but we're going to extend that for another 2 weeks.
And for those families who attend the Boys and Girls Club that also would like to participate in the complex, you shouldn't call it the complex program, that sounds terrible, but the program, it's not complex.
We're not
I
complex.
promise. We will have a shuttle bus that will run
that's
between
awesome.
the Boys and Girls Club and the JFK AFM complex and back and forth. So if your child is attending school at the complex, you want them to attend the program that Dr. Rumka just mentioned, but you're worried about transportation because you really need them at the Boys and Girls Club, we got you covered.
We also got another grant for interns. Is it instructional assistants?
Yeah.
So we're looking for high schools, junior and seniors that are interested working, in the program with us this summer.
Yeah, mentoring students, teacher assistants, tutoring. So, and it pays $15.
$15 an hour.
$15 an hour.
I think
That's
I've got some
pretty
kids who are
amazing.
very interested, and actually one
pretty
yesterday
amazing.
who I just sent the link to, so.
Perfect. Good.
You'll get 8, we'll get you.
That's great. And how about at the secondary level? What are some of our programs?
We're just kind of going around. I
I'm
Okay, no,
looking at you and then
stop.
she
So,
points
I
at
do, I'm so giving, I'm so giving to you. No, we have credit recovery because we want to get all of our students who
Keep 'em
have
on
the
track.
ability to graduate on time. But we're also offering some enrichment camps. We've got a band camp, and we also have our art teacher, Christine Robertson, is going to do an art camp as well. So stay tuned for that. And then Mr. Kern might have one other thing in the works. So we'll actually have learning and fun.
And fun. And you're going to have some enrichment opportunities too, I think,
And I
right?
love hearing the band. So come on,
So great.
entertain me.
So the middle school also as well has ELA and math recovery to be helping, but we have fun things. So we do have 2 flyers that will be out in my newsletter to go out at the very first start of June. and there'll be a Google form to sign up. And I was thinking of fun because the art is a 2D camp for 1 week and then a 3D. And the 3D is clay and paper mache, if you couldn't get any messier.
Right.
So,
That is going to be messy. Yeah.
and then we'll also have a summer singing camp. So
That's awesome.
and we just had our chorus performance last night.
Which was absolutely
with the
amazing.
largest 30-member chorus that we've had in the
They were
5 years I've been
incredible.
here.
They were absolutely incredible. They sounded amazing. They looked amazing.
They had props. They
was awesome.
acted.
They did, yeah.
It wasn't just it wasn't just singing. It was a whole theatrical performance.
And the place was packed.
That
It
is
was
the
a big
biggest
crowd.
crowd we've ever had.
Well, you know what they did that I think was really, they sent out invitations. And who's going to say
No to that,
no?
yeah.
You know, they whole chorus sent me one. They all signed it. Like, who's going
And
to?
a lot of them sent them to former teachers.
That's so
inviting
awesome.
them.
They were amazing. I snuck into the room after to like.
How can
wave
you
and-
not like a performance with
were so
the
great.
wolf?
Yes.
I don't even know where they got that.
and they I don't recall the young man with the cane.
Yeah.
The deepest voice. He sounded so great, and it was like you could see the kids were just like beaming with pride. It was awesome to see.
They were nervous because this is the first time we've had singing in front of anyone.
So good.
So they were nervous, but they had fun up there. You could tell they were
Oh, they
having
did.
fun.
Yeah. It was definitely a proud moment to see him shining like that. It was great. So, what's one maybe little teaser we can give about next year? What's one little thing that people have to look forward to, or something you might want to share just a little bit about, a little taste to kind of get people interested? Because I know we have a ton of plans already in the works for this summer and next school year.
We can kind of talk
see,
about
yeah.
that together, yeah, because we have ice cream social coming up.
Oh, nice.
Of the summer. And then also, we're looking at doing some family nights, since now we can start doing stuff. So we have the new math program this year coming. So we're thinking that might be a good way to start, is kind of maybe some games that come with the program, teach parents how to play them, teach them the strategy. So that's kind of where we're going, and we're looking at kind of doing some family things again.
Well, I
because
kind of
we
like to
haven't had
challenge the
those.
parents, you know.
Right.
Yeah.
Are you smarter than the fifth grader?
I have failed that every time I've played. The parents don't feel that.
hard.
Yeah.
The kids love beating their parents. So I think that's the best part, because they might have played the game in class, so they already know how to play it, so they can teach their parents how to play. So we've done that before. So I'm looking forward to that again, having some parent nights and family nights where they can come in.
That's great. How about over at the middle and high
Together, we
school?
have a big change next year with the 8th grade academy.
Yeah, talk a little bit about that. That's awesome. That is really exciting.
So the students will start their day, they'll get off at the high school, which middle school students have never done in the morning, except for the one time we visit, and they'll have an Algebra 1 class and Spanish 1 class there, so that those credits will now go towards graduation.
Nice. If they go to BMR High School, right?
When they go to BMR.
I love that.
So that's the biggest thing that we have in the works right now, is creating and pulling off that academy.
And we have 17?
18.
18. Okay.
students.
18 students.
Yep.
That's really awesome. That'll be at the high school for part of the day and then back at the middle
back
school.
at
Yep, so they'll leave the high school with just enough time to get back here for the third period and then finish their day here.
That's
So they
great.
do extra time? Like,
It'll end up being.
Not really extra instructional time, because the travel minutes that they would
Make
have
up
had in
for
the
it.
morning coming,
Yeah.
we're just shifting it to 2 periods into their day.
Yeah.
Then that's when they'll have the travel time. So,
But we were able to make it work.
yep.
We were able to-
And I know you've been doing some creative scheduling stuff, trying to learn different ideas and look at different models, and which is really neat.
Yeah.
It's always good to look at different ways to kind of do the things you're trying to get done.
Right,
is
and
really
I mean, we still, next year will be year 3 with the ASA grant, with
Yeah.
the career work. It will be year 2 with Project Lead the Way. I didn't bring that up earlier,
Yeah.
but it will be year 2 for us for that, because I know, especially the 8th graders, we specifically picked medical detectives because of the
Biomedical.
program we have
Yeah,
at the high
yep.
school, and they absolutely loved it. I wouldn't think you'd like to be, I don't personally want to be dissecting anything, but they love it.
Yeah, you have the sheep brain order. I think, right?
Yes,
Isn't that-
yes, I did. In the summer, I was opening some packages, and I was like, the label would have been nice to know. I was going to see a whole box of sheep brains.
I'm going to be sick that day. No, I think one of the things I'm looking forward to is combining our Meet the Teacher night with a student showcase.
Oh, yeah, say a little
to-
about that.
Well, so we really want to get parents, and I know you're all active at the elementary level. You're so, by the time you get to ninth grade, you're like, here, take them. And then they can drive themselves, and it's like, freedom. But we really want to have the parents and keep that connection. So we are going to incorporate seeing student work samples. Some of them will be new, and some of them will be from this past year that we'll be keeping so that the students can be the leaders in this and say, I'd like to introduce you to my English teacher, and this is the work that I've been doing, and really taking the ownership of their learning and bringing the community together. Because again, like you were just saying, we can do that now. So combine, getting to know what they're going to be doing in the syllabus. I'm anticipating like syllabi on QR codes so that the parents can have that, but also getting to see what we do. Because I think that's really important.
So a lot of really exciting, some little quarter turns, some are bigger, than others, but some really nice things to look forward to when we come back, which is really great. And so the last and probably the most important question that I want to talk about: what are you doing this summer for you? What are you doing for fun? Do you have any trips? Anything you're looking forward to? Any sleeping? Right, catching up on some rest and some reading.
In my pool.
Cooking.
Cooking, I probably create some YouTube videos, but
Of you skateboarding?
Oh, yeah, I was gonna say.
my cooking. But
That's really interesting.
yeah, I also joined the pool committee at my condo because I want to make sure the pool's clean.
That is really
I'm
interesting.
going to spend a lot of time at the pool.
Put a skateboard park in.
Like, I just
Yeah.
see Jenny do a Denali or something.
And you're a world traveler. Ms.
I'm
Kurt,
not
anywhere
really
this summer?
traveling the world
Not
this
yet?
year. No,
This year.
no.
You like
I
to
will
go all
be
over, though.
visiting family and spending a week with family, which it is fun.
Yeah.
So we'll be spending some time with family and just relax.
And how about in the Schaefer household?
We are taking a road trip to Nebraska. We are driving, yes,
Okay.
and going to Disney at one point and camping. So just kind of
We need
spending
you
time.
and Todd back.
Don't see any tornadoes in Nebraska.
Yeah.
We drove to Florida on April vacation.
Yeah, and you survived.
Almost as far as Nebraska.
Yes.
Nebraska's 27. Actually, we're doing a college tour too for Evan. So for
Okay, I was
son,
thinking
we're-
Ashley's a little young.
Yes. We're going on University of Michigan, of course, where Todd went to school.
Of
So
course, yeah.
we're going to see University of Michigan because Evan's going to be a senior in the
That's exciting.
fall. Crazy.
That is crazy. How about you, Ms. Fowles?
We really, really, really would like to get back to Italy. Unfortunately, I have a child in college. So we're going to bring Europe in North America. So we are actually going to go up to Quebec City
Yeah, I was gonna
and
say.
Montreal and Ottawa.
Very nice.
We're going to do that. And then I'm going to spend some time with my family in Western New York.
That's great.
Thus the Bills fan for my friends, my senior friends out there who I know are watching. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
That's great. Very good. So a lot of good things to look forward to professionally, personally. And you need to celebrate too, because it's been quite a year for everybody for sure. But we're there just about.
That's crazy.
We're all smiling. We're all doing well. Everybody's happy.
I'm sure you can ask any of the teachers. They'll tell you
great.
the countdown. They'll tell you. They'll know the countdown. I don't know the countdown yet, so it just keeps going. But they know the countdown. So
Well, we say we don't count the days, we make them count.
yes,
Right, which is true.
Nice
which is very
ending.
true. So we'll wrap on that note unless there are any questions. Jesse or Tim?
Oh,
He texted.
it's texting.
All right, let's see what we got here. This is our
Are you
technology.
skateboarding?
I know. I want to see a sample.
Is that all we got? Thank you, Ms. Cody.
Don't read that question.
That will not be read out loud.
The answer is no.
All right, I guess with that, we
Yeah,
will wrap
there you
up.
go.
Thank
Thank
you
you, sir.
so much to our principals. Thank you to our staff, our students, our families. And we look forward to a really strong finish as is posted on your marquee outside of your school.
And
Finish
down here.
strong.
Yeah, down
In
there
here
too. Yes.
Yep.
Excellent.
I'm trying to think if there's anything anywhere else. I think you just have dates. And
we
you
have-
love
we
our
have-
We
seniors.
love our seniors. We do. We love our seniors.
All of those things are true. So we wish everybody a wonderful evening and a great finish to the school year. Thanks so much.
Take care.